Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into how Notion is transforming from a static document repository into a fully dynamic, presentation-ready powerhouse. If you've been using Notion strictly as a place to just dump text and track databases, well, get ready because the latest updates are completely shifting what's actually possible inside your workspace.
So think about this for a second. We all face this exact same problem, right? You spend hours building a beautifully structured, highly detailed page. But then, when it comes time to actually share those ideas with the client or get your team on board, what do we usually do? We endure the absolute friction of exporting it. We copy and paste all that beautiful data into entirely different apps just to make it presentable. It totally breaks your flow. Well, today, we're going to look at how recent updates have practically eliminated that need altogether.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the static page problem, move into native presentation mode, look at formatting your slides, explore interactive HTML blocks, and finally, dive into real-world interactive workflows.
All right, section 1, the static page problem.
This right here is the exact pain point we're solving today. You know the drill. The old way of doing things meant constantly jumping out of Notion. You take your carefully crafted notes and painfully rebuild them in Canva or PowerPoint, and usually, you'd end up losing your formatting and all your context in the process. It's just a headache. But the new way? It means staying exactly where your work actually lives. As one Notion expert recently highlighted, the time saved here is literally colossal. You get a clean, minimalist environment with absolutely nothing superfluous. The whole shebang happens right there, completely eliminating the need to ever leave your workspace. Moving right along to section 2, native presentation mode. I absolutely love the backstory on this one. It's fascinating that this massive, highly requested workflow upgrade happened simply because two Notion designers, Randy and Cole, woke up and decided to fix a common annoyance. They realized that presenting shouldn't require rebuilding your work from scratch. It should just be an easy, natural extension of the page you're already looking at. Okay, so the crucial takeaway is this incredibly handy keyboard shortcut. If you're on a Plus, Business, or Enterprise plan, you can trigger this beta feature right now. Just hit Command-Option-P on a Mac or Control-Alt-P on Windows, and boom, you instantly transform your existing document into a slideshow. You don't have to rebuild a single block of text. What's really brilliant about this feature is how well forgiving it is in a live setting. Imagine you're running a client workshop or a big team sync, and suddenly, whoops, you spot a typo or you realize you forgot a key bullet point. No panic necessary. You just jump out of the presentation, edit the text on the fly, hit your shortcut again, and it resumes exactly where you paused. Plus, all your favorite native features, like toggle blocks, work beautifully in this mode. They just expand and collapse so cleanly, maintaining that focused, minimalist aesthetic we all rely on.
Which brings us to section 3, formatting your slides.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, if I have a massive page of text, how does it know what goes on which slide? It is literally so simple. By just typing 3 dashes on your keyboard, you create a standard Notion divider block. But here's the magic. In presentation mode, Notion reads that divider as a literal slide break. So whatever is above the divider is your first slide, and whatever is below it becomes your next slide. Actually, scratch that. It's almost too easy. You can format an entire hour-long workshop this way in just a few seconds. All right, let's kick things into high gear with section 4, interactive HTML blocks. This is where we pivot from just presenting information to actively interacting with it, thanks to the massive Notion 3.6 API update. This turns Notion into a true developer sandbox. Basically, by uploading an HTML file via the developer API and attaching it to an embed block, the app renders that file interactively inside a sandboxed iframe. To put that in simple, non-jargon terms, you can now run custom interactive code right on your page. You're no longer just staring at static text, you're engaging with actual mini apps embedded directly into your workspace. It's a total game changer.
Finally, section 5, real-world interactive workflows.
Let's ground all this technical API talk in reality. Hearing about sandboxed iframes is great, but what does it actually mean for you on a Tuesday morning? Well, the official release notes gave us 3 killer use cases: ROI calculators, team quizzes, and interactive org charts. These prove that you absolutely do not need third-party web apps to engage your customers or your team anymore. And here's the best part. Because Notion agents can help generate these HTML blocks, literally anyone on your team can use and iterate on them. Let's look at that first one. Picture this on a high-stakes sales call. Instead of boring your prospect with a static spreadsheet of potential savings,
You actually embed a dynamic ROI calculator right into your shared pitch document. When the client asks, hey, what if we have 50 employees instead of 20? You just adjust the inputs live, right there on the page. You instantly customize the financial model based on their specific tool stack. You are showing them the value live, not just telling them about it. Next up, internal team training. We've all fallen asleep reading a massive 10-page feature doc, right? It's incredibly passive. Well, not anymore. Now you can have your Notion agent analyze that feature doc, identify the key takeaways, and generate an interactive quiz from it. Your teammates take the quiz directly inside the Notion page, and it even scores their results at the end. That takes onboarding from passive, forgettable reading to active, memorable engagement. And lastly, let's talk about org charts. A lot of teams use Notion for their people directory, basically a huge database of who does what. But scanning a massive table to figure out the company structure, really not the best experience for a brand new hire. With HTML blocks, you can visualize that exact same people database as a dynamic, interactive org chart. By rendering the data as a visual hierarchy, new hires can navigate the company instantly, entirely bypassing the need to pay for and open clunky external HR software. So here is the big question for you. Now that you know you hold the power to turn static text into dynamic presentations and interactive mini apps, how are you going to transform your workspace today? Whether it's hitting that presentation shortcut for your next meeting, typing those 3 simple dashes to build a slide deck, or deploying custom HTML blocks for a live client calculator, all these tools are literally right at your fingertips. I highly encourage you to open up your workspace right now, test these out, and start building something truly dynamic. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.